What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. What's poppin', everyone? I do want to apologize about the stream yesterday. We did have some connection issues and some other stuff going on, but we're not going to bring that up. I'm doing well. That's all that matters. Hope you guys are too. We have a great stream planned ahead today. I'm going to very briefly be going over the series summary and series preview, and we're going to be joined by a very special guest. I see him waiting patiently in the waiting room, so I appreciate it. You guys most likely know him. I know he's smiling. You guys most likely know him. If not, then you're not a real Mets fan, whatever. But I see we got a couple people in the chat. What's going on? I see I'm already being spammed with Marlins Talk with Hayden, but whatever. We don't need to get to that. So just briefly going over today's stream. Like I said, we're going to be doing series summary, series preview. Maybe if you guys have a couple questions, and we're going to be joined by a very special guest. But everyone's in the chat. What's going on? Maybe at the gym, but you'll listen. I appreciate it, man. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. In 30 minutes, absolutely. Show us your bat. I will do that afterwards. I will show everyone my batting stance. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, of course, man. So let's just stop wasting any time. Let's dive right into it. So pretty much looking at Monday's game, we had Jacob deGrom on the bump, and obviously it was his second start coming back from an injury. Many people like myself, were very, very nervous to, kind of see what he could bring to the table. Obviously, we were nervous with him potentially. We know how he is with runners in scoring position. We know how he is with, getting runs for deGrom. It's impossible. It never happens. But pretty much deGrom was spectacular on the bump. Like we said, it was a second start off the IL, and he lowered his ERA to a 0.71. So that's all that matters in my book. But looking at the stat line here, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, 8 strikeouts, and that's all she said. deGrom felt and wanted to go longer. He did express in the post interview. He kind of gave mixed reports. He said that the coaching staff was more so just trying to play it safe. With all the injuries going on, him coming off the IL, they don't want to ruin it. I kind of understand that, but I think it comes to the point is when are you going to let, Rojas, he has to stop coddling his pitchers. I feel he's not a player's manager. He doesn't know what it's like to be a pitcher. So he constantly relies on Hefner, and I think his name was Quattlebaum, the new hitting coach. So he's constantly relying on these guys. So it's just something to keep in mind. It sucks, but deGrom, he did spectacular. Pete Alonso was back. Pete Alonso, we all know how I am on Alonso. Big Meat Pete fan. I love Pete Alonso. Got him back up there. Pete did great. Second inning, he had a 2-run RBI, and then later that night, he took an off-speed pitch deep for his 7th home run of the year. 2-run homer. Always enjoy that. Like we said, deGrom, Shohei Ohtani. Who needs Shohei Ohtani when you got deGrom? Always enjoy that. Hit an RBI single. Billy McKinney homered, obviously. We saw Pollard came back, did great. Got a base hit, great standing ovation. I guarantee you if the Mets make the playoffs and there's a 2015 documentary of this, automatically that will be in it. Always enjoyed it. We did a protection mask on, obviously, which is understandable. We had the bullpen come in. Bullpen was quiet for the most part. We had Trevor May come in. Struggled a little bit, walk control, all that issues. We're going to get into that. We have some information on that. We had Castro, nasty, and then we had Familia close out the game. And the Mets took the game 6-2. So that was game 1. 0 complaints, honestly, in terms of game 1. I enjoyed that. Game 2, on the other hand, is something that my script is not so happy about. Simply looking at game 2, the Mets lost 6-5 in extras. Marcus Stroman did great out there. He really did. He was using that splitter slider. One thing I picked up on is these 1 and 2 counts. He really, I think all of his hits were on 1 and 2 counts. So I don't know what he was throwing on there. It looked like a type of fastball, but it was going over the plate and they were hitting it. But Stroman, he did all right. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 runs, 6 Ks, 2.66 ERA. Not the worst thing in the world. Stroman, I mean, he started off hot. Is he starting to go down to reality? I don't think so. I think he is going to be this all-star guy he claims to be. We had Dominic Smith and his home run drought. Hit a 3-run homer, his first home run since late May, of course. We had Lindor hit an RBI triple, so Lindor was getting back. Bullpen was pretty quiet for the most part. Familia and Luke combined 2 innings pitched. Diaz came into the bottom to get the save, and what it looks like here, he allowed a double against the shift, and McKinney bobbled it, so I guess you could say it was really McKinney's fault that we lost. Something very unfortunate. And no one really, said McKinney. They said, oh, Diaz. Oh, he's 2019. No, I don't think it's that. I really think it's 1, the shift, and 2, it's that stupid extra runner on second in the extra inning rule. And as we know, I was not super happy of that. It was like 12 o'clock. I just wanted to go to bed. I was exhausted. The Mets were able to take the lead with the James McCann base hit, but then obviously Trevor May came up. Second night in a row. Keep that in mind. He struggled the night prior. Over 30 pitches pitched, and Rojas puts him in again. You have Lugo. Why'd you call up Lugo if you're not going to use him? You should have kept Sean Reed-Foley, or you should have brought up Sapaki then for that game. I didn't know if they were saving Lugo for the Padres series. Maybe they wanted to get – I couldn't tell you. But, yeah, it was unfortunate. Then we saw Reddick. He had a double, and then obviously scored 2 runs. If you want to call it foul, if you want to call it foul or fair, I personally think it was foul if you ask me, just the way it hit the line. Instant review play is garbage. If anything, the umpire should have the damn iPad so they could see what they are watching. That's personally what I would do. I'm looking at it right now, and this is clearly, it looks terrible. It really does. But yeah, that was game 2. And then obviously game 3, like I said, was pretty, was on YouTube yesterday. So everyone kind of watched it. Mets won this game 7-6. Peterson had a ride. He definitely did. I want to get into Peterson though later in the stream, obviously, but we had 6 straight hits against Madison Bumgarner. And that really meant something. We got 6 straight hits against him, and we were up 4-0. I was like, game's over. Walk off the field. We're done. Sorry, D-backs. Go home. Sadly, that was not the case. VR got a base hit. Lindor got a hit. McCann hit a 3-run homer, a bomb moonshell. Pilar got a hit. Dom Smith got a base hit. Alonso got a BABIP hit. We always enjoy BABIP on this channel, of course. And then Drury got a ground out RBI. 4-0. You think the Mets would take that. But no, Peterson struggled. He simply couldn't throw a strike. His command was not there. He's throwing it off the plate. If you want to blame McCann at framing, I thought he did pretty adequate yesterday. He wasn't adequate or inadequate. He was in between. Nothing too horrific. He pretty much debunked the game, Peterson, pretty much. And then obviously Lugo, we did see he made an appearance, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts. Not horrific, but luckily Alonso in the top of the 9th was able to get a base hit to drive in Lindor for the winning run to determine the game. So that was always great to see. Big Meat Pete, probably the MVP of that game, if not James McCann. Then obviously, I don't know who that is. And then so that was Diamondbacks games. Mets took it 2-1. Like I think someone said, like Giovanni said, hey, and I wish we could have swept the series. I'll take it, honestly. I mean, I wanted a sweep going into the struggling next coming series, but quickly getting into the Mets and Padres series, it's going to be something, all right. Game 1 is tonight at 10:10. We all know how much I hate the California or Western or Mountain time games because it's a pain in the ass because I live on the East Coast, so I have to stay up till midnight and practically watch it. So it really sucks. So pretty much tonight's game is going to be Taijuan Walker on the bump. Taijuan Walker's been a beast. He's coming off of an injury in the offseason. His velocity's there. He's probably been the best acquirement this offseason that's been showing it so far. He's really been using that fastball, which results in swinging and misses. Just looking at his stats, 4-1, 1.84 ERA, 49 Ks, and 0.9 WHIP. I'm really thinking that he's going to be something. Is he going to be a top 5 Cy Young? Probably not, but he could definitely be in the top 10 if you want to expand on that. And then tonight we will have Yu Darvish on the bump for the Padres. A dominant pitcher, has that sweeping slider fastball that is very used on the Cubs. High K rate, all that stuff. 5-1 on the season, 2.16 ERA, 79 strikeouts, and a 0.43 WHIP. Tatis, I believe, is out. He has an oblique injury or oblique injury issue. I'm not sure if it's an injury or an issue or whatever, but something definitely that could maybe be beneficial. Game 2 tomorrow, 10:10. Mets starters known at this moment, or in terms of yesterday, because that's when I did these notes. I don't know if it is right now. If it isn't, please let me know in the chat. And then we will have Joe Musgrove, who's been having a nice year. Everyone kind of thought he'd be a meh pitcher, but, got a no-hitter. He does have low velocity, but like we said, the ball travels with this dead ball. Maybe it won't travel as much. Like we said, ground ball pitcher. He has that interesting cutter that I've seen on Baseball Savant. 4-4 in the season, 2.0 ERA, 79 Ks, and a 0.76 WHIP. What the hell is IP? I'm not sure. Innings pitched. Game 3, Saturday, 10:10. Another late game that I always like. It's going to be the 2018 Cy Young matchup right here. Who doesn't want to see this? We got Jacob deGrom, who, do I really need to get into Jacob deGrom? I mean, honestly, this dude is 4-2 in the season. 0.71 ERA, 82 Ks, 0.57 strikeouts. This man is just unbelievable. His velocity, his swing rate, everything. I could expand here for hours. And then we got Blake Snell, the American League Cy Young in 2018, who's been average this season. I mean, he's been in his struggles. He's having a walk issue, it seems. 1-2 record, 5.55 ERA, 70 Ks, 1.5 WHIP. So maybe we can get to him early. He kind of got crushed last start. Hopefully we can get something to it. And game 4, which is at 6:10. It's a 4-game series. We'll have Marcus Stroman on the bump. And, you all know my requirements for Stroman, my scouting report. Ground ball pitcher, use that splitter slider, try to get more swinging and misses to result in strikeouts. And that's really all I have for that. And then he'll be facing Chris Paddock, who also has been meh this season. One thing I do want to see is Pete Alonso take him deep. He thinks that he's this, sheriff guy. Well, take him deep, Pete. Yeah, exactly. Take him deep. Alonso's a beast. Yeah, take him deep. But I will say one thing I want to get into is defense quickly. Looking at the defense in DRS, defensive run saved, Padres are first in the league, 34, and then third of the Mets. So you're going to have some nice defense, nice offense this series. That is it for the Mets and Padres series summary. It's going to be great. I'm excited. My predictions, I think we're going to split it 2-2. What games are we going to win? I think the last 2 are definitely potential easy wins. The first 2 are going to be a struggle, but if we take 2-2, as long as we split it, I'm fine. So that's that. But yeah, so that is the New York Mets and Arizona Diamondbacks series summary and the New York Mets and San Diego Padres series preview. I see we got a ton of people in the chat. Keep dropping the comments. We are going to add a very special guest now. I know he's been waiting patiently. I apologize for ranting. But yeah, he's smiling. All right, but we're going to get in one of our great YouTubers. If you're not subscribed to this guy, I don't know what you're doing. We are going to be joining with Talkin' Mets with Rob. What's going on, man?
What's up, Hayden? How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, brother? I'm doing well. How's it going?
Good, man. Just hanging out, waiting for another late night game in California, unfortunately.
Listen, that's all we could ask for.
That's it.
So what are your thoughts on the series? Diamondbacks going into the Padres. What are your thoughts? What have you liked? What have you not liked? Certain players? Go at it.
Yeah, you know what? With the Diamondback series, we're very fortunate to win 2 out of 3 because, I mean, I think the Diamondbacks didn't even want to play. It looked like the first game they just didn't want to be bothered. They wanted to basically go home with their families and not even play baseball. And that's the way it was looking in game 2. And then, with the whole incident with Stroman, it seemed like it fired up the Diamondbacks. And that's when they got motivated. And even in the last game of the series, they felt motivated to win this game, and they wanted to beat us. In game 1, they had no chance against DeGrom. It was obvious. But I don't know. Luckily, we got 2 out of 3 because we needed 2 out of 3 going into San Diego in a 4-game set. But we got our big 3 horses in the 4-game series against the Padres. It's not going to be easy. But like you were saying, if you take 2 games out of the 4, I'll take that. Absolutely. But you know what? I think Taijuan Walker tonight is going to be dominant just like he's been all year. But we do got Darvish on the mound, which is going to be very tough. But again, we're getting a little bit healthier day by day. Alonso's back, which is good. We saw Pilar yesterday, got 2 hits. He looks good. So that's a good thing also. Unfortunately, we got not good news with JD Davis. But you know what? At this moment, this team is playing well. They're grinding out wins with the bench mob. And hey, you know what? Let's beat up the Padres. They lost 4 straight. They got swept by the Cubs. So they're going to be a little pissed off, coming back home. So we're going to see how it goes with our Mets team. Our first place Mets team, by the way.
First place. We have, I think we have a 4.5 gap between, I think it is the second place team, which is the Phillies, I believe.
It is the Phillies, yeah.
And I think that's the highest in baseball in terms of division. So that's always great to see. But yeah, man, I agree. I think, now that we're getting healthy, that's really something that's going to be, very necessary. I think someone said it before about health. I don't know. I'll look for it later. But health is very important for this team. And I mean, I think when we came into the season, we all expected, injuries. Guys like Nimmo, as you stated.
Absolutely.
Conforto, he's had his issues. McNeil. But I didn't suspect 3 of those guys in a week or a month.
Absolutely. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, with the injuries, we all got worried. We were like, at the peak, it was 17 guys on the IL, which is basically the entire team. We had nobody in the lineup except for Lindor at one point. And it's a problem, and we were all worried. No Met fan's going to sit down and be like, I know this team's going to be great. You know what? But they held down the fort. They figured it out. You know, they played a lot of 1-run, 2-run games, and that's the only way they were going to be able to win because we weren't scoring a lot of runs. So, you know what? With the injuries and with a 4.5-game league, and what I was just looking at just now, we have a 7-game lead in the loss column, which is even better than a 4.5-game lead right now. Because I think the Braves are right now. It says in MLB app, it says 4 games against with Atlanta. So I guess they won. I don't know, but 4 games right now. But a 7-game lead in the loss column, which is extremely important to look at because when you actually look at it. Even if you go 500 in June, like I've been talking about in my videos, is that the Atlanta Braves or the Phillies have to go at least 4, 5, 6 games over 500 just to catch us in the division. So they have to play over 500 baseball while we play 500 baseball just to catch us. So it's a big deal that we're 7 games in the loss column ahead of the Braves and the Phillies.
Absolutely, man. That's a great point. And, I think coming into the season, the NL East was definitely one of the more, I don't know what you want to call it, close in calls. I know it's a cheap word, but we'll go with it. It was the most close. I mean, if you want to make an argument for the Central, but I mean, if you were to ask me in the beginning of the season, I had one person that said the Braves are going to win the division. I had my freaking Floridian saying, oh, the Marlins are going to win it. Yeah. I had people saying the Phillies, the Mets, the Nationals. So you really didn't. I mean, I think realistically, the Mets, Braves, maybe the Nationals, potentially the Phillies were a realistic one. They're coming back down to earth, but I think this is the thing is that we're a second half team. If you look at the history of the Mets, the first half usually like the first month, we're the World Series, 14-2 or whatever. But this year we started off meh. So I think that's a sign is that usually we start off good, go June, and then the All-Star game comes, and then afterwards the second half comes, and then we start to make that playoff push, and then we get 5 games out or 10 games out couple games out like last year. But I think it's really going to come down to so many things, and I think a lot of those things we have nailed in the head. Are we going to keep this division lead? Could maybe, I don't know. I mean, we have so many more games. It's likely tomorrow at this time, in a week from now, the Phillies could have first place and we could be a game behind. You never know. Baseball's like that. But, I think this, June, especially June is one of those months that we really struggle in. And I mean, we kind of start first taste. I mean, the first game that started in June, because I know the first game went over into June. But the first game that was started in June, I mean, look what happened. I mean, you had that embarrassment. I mean, if you want to touch on that, man, please do. If you want to, the umpiring, whatever, go ahead.
It was everything with the umpiring, just all around. It was just a bad game by the Mets. It was the umpiring. It was just everything. Like I said, June is the time when the Mets fall apart. It's been like that for a couple of years. We saw it in 2019, the Callaway years as well. We started off 14-2 in April or 11-2 in April, and then we fell apart in May and June. Same thing in 2019. We were terrible. I think we were like 8 games out of first place or maybe about 4 games out of first place at the trade deadline when we started to pick up that winning streak. And we were constantly 6-7 games behind the Braves all year and the Phillies. And then we picked it up in the second half, and we can't continue to do that because you have to use your bullpen more. You got to use your starters longer, and so forth and so on, just to get back in the division. And at the time in 2019, the wild card, and it just tires your team out. So when you play from ahead like we are now the Braves, the Phillies, the Nationals all have to try everything they can to push their way into a division lead or even a wild card spot. Because look, nobody expected the Cubs to be this good. Now the Cubs and the Cardinals are going to be fighting for a division. Now that's another team that has to fight for the wild card. Yeah, exactly. The Giants, the Padres, and the Dodgers. Only one team can win that division, obviously. So that means the Giants and whoever else is going to fight for that wild card. So there might only be one team that comes out of the NL East, and that's the division winner. Because of the good teams that could take over the 2 wild card spots. So it's a big deal that whoever wins the NL East might be the only team in the playoffs for the NL East.
No, that's very true. I think, baseball's very tight now. I mean, I think it's so early in the season, of course, but I mean, just looking at every division here, let's just take a look at the MLB standings. I mean, with the Mets, the NL East is probably still supposedly the most close one to call. I mean, you got teams like the AL East, where, the last place team is, 15 games out. And then, you have your NL East where, the last team, the Nationals, are 6.5 games out. So a bit of a difference. It's going to be a ride, no doubt. And I mean, of course, we all knew they were going to be our fair share of issues getting into the season. I think, like we said, health was one thing. And like we said, now a lot of our guys, like Dalton said, what's up, Hayden? The Mets are coming in hard. The bats are getting alive, and the team is getting healthy. That's pretty much true, man. The bats are starting to come now. We've seen Lindor. Lindor had a nice series, no doubt. Lindor really, he just seems more patient at the plate. He seems to be knowing what to switch at. Mechanically, just with his legs, his posture, his stride, he's choosing what to, swing at. In the past, he'd just be like, okay, I'm just going to have to hit the ball, try to get into some runs. Now he's going to say, oh, no, I'm going to walk up there. I'm going to take a hit it down the middle. He's been hitting. I mean, there wasn't much. I didn't really see a whole lot of shift action, but definitely he hit a ton of base hits. I mean, if he's going to be a power guy, I don't think so. But I mean, realistically, everyone's all nervous about his contract. Well, that's one thing too, with the contract, if you want to touch on that, I mean, we saw this was the first 2 months of Francisco Lindor were absolutely terrible. Luckily, he is now at the Mendoza line, which is progress. I mean, it's not, what I expected. I mean, taking a look at his stats right now, I think he's batting like 201, 202. He's hovering right on that Mendoza line. And, it's something that, I can only imagine if Lindor could be not exact. I mean, is he going to be worth $341 million? I hope so. But if he doesn't, if he goes somewhere near that, I can only imagine what this team will look like. And I think with Lindor is that, I expected, in my past videos, I'm sure you did too, we expected Lindor to have a struggle, but not this bad. I expected him to play kind of like a Rosario, bat like 240, 250. His defense has been great. I'll say that. Usually when guys struggle offensively, it carries with the defense, but the defense has been good. But everyone says, oh, but his defense is so great. And sure, yeah, there's a couple plays that I say, oh, Rosario, he would have not been able to make that. But if I wanted, a guy who could bat 190, 200 and make great defensive plays, I would have got, Iglesias, or I probably would have kept Jimenez at this rate. But I'm thinking Lindor is going to have a nice June. Maybe, the Mets struggle in June. Well, maybe Lindor will be the opposite, and he could show from an outsider's view coming into the Mets that June is going to be our month. We're getting at that halfway stretch. And I think I've been liking what I've seen with Lindor. What are your thoughts? What do you think of Lindor?
Yeah, absolutely. With Lindor, like I said, we all expected him to struggle in April. And, it was worrisome, especially, 2 months of batting under 200. I mean, it looked like he didn't even know how to hit a baseball. Like, have you played baseball before, Lindor? Like, that's the way he looked. And I'm looking at my notes right now. I know you take notes as well. Like, I'm looking at my notes. He's batting 391 in the last couple of games to get his average over the Mendoza line finally.
Yeah.
And he's been you can just tell the balance at the plate is so much better than a week ago. Like, he was really struggling. You can tell he was off balance on everything. If he threw him a curveball or a slider, he was swinging it in the dirt. All that, yes, exactly. He couldn't get any balance at the plate. Everything he was either fouling off or missing by a mile. And he just looked like he was just uncomfortable at the plate. But now you see the balance is back. He's looking at where he needs the ball to be. Like, he's not swinging at the bad pitches anymore. He's swinging at a lot more fastballs than he did in April and May. He actually took a lot of fastballs right down the middle because he was guessing mostly. And you can see that he's not guessing anymore. He's looking for the pitch he wants, and he's getting it. And it's showing big things right now, especially with, the 391 average that he has right now. And you can see when he's going, the rest of the team is going. And if he can bat offensively well, because he's going to be good defensively, as you guys can see.
Absolutely.
If he continues to do this offense, all right, he's not going to bat probably 400 in June. But if he does, great. But even if he bats 300 in June, it's just one extra player that can put us over that hump so we don't have them struggles that we had the last couple of years in June. And Lindor's a big part of it because if it's not Alonso, it has to be Lindor. And Smith, got the home run in the series against the Diamondbacks. He's looking good. So, we got a little bit more of the power back. But, with Lindor in the two-hole, which he's always been since he basically started the year, putting him in the two-hole, he's got to be a table setter for the big guys behind him. We don't need him to hit 35 home runs. Even though a $341 million player, you expect him to hit 40 home runs, batting 290, 100 RBIs. But Lindor is not that guy. He's a guy who's a table setter, who's a gap-to-gap hitter, who needs to get on base for the big guys behind him. You know, if he can, you know, get a lot of doubles, get a lot of runs scored, that just shows that the guys behind him are getting those RBIs and driving in Lindor. And that's the big thing with Lindor is if he gets on base, this team is going to be better, especially with runs scored.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at the 2019 lineup. You know, there's been a couple changes. I mean, you know, McCann, he's been starting to lighten up too, especially in this past series. I mean, you know, the 2019 lineup is kind of, I would say, better at this rate. You know, McCann and Ramos, we'll talk about that another time because I can only imagine what's going to happen to me if I say something good about McCann. But, you know, Francisco Lindor is a much upgrade than Rosario. And I mean, for the most part, you know, we still have Smith. We still have Davis. We still have Alonso, McNeil, Nimmo, Conforto. So I can only imagine you get one more guy who, you know, has been to a World Series, who has all these awards, could potentially be an MVP. It just backs up this team completely. And I think you're right. Lindor, you know, no one suspected him to come in simply, you know, May or June and have a 400 batting average. No, that would have been too much to ask for. And I think, you know, now he's starting to get to that groove, rhythm. You know, and the thing with Lindor was I kind of had, you know, I had hope. I wasn't, you know, in my streams, I'd be cursing and throwing and, you know, upset during the game. I'm sure if everyone sees in the comments in my streams, I mean, everyone, you know, loves my reactions. You got to watch them. But, you know, pretty much, you know, it came to a point where he wasn't striking out. You know, if he was striking out, you know, swinging at outside pitches, off speed, in the dirt, that would have been terrible. He was making contact, like you said, you know, with the whole fastball. Now he's more hitting those. He was making contact. He was hitting it. It was just going foul, or it would be on, you know, a 2-2 count or an 0-2 count, or simply enough. I mean, if you want to blame the dead ball, I do want to talk about that briefly if you want to. Be delighted to. The dead ball, I mean, the baseball itself, you know, he hit it. It looked great hit. Oh, but then it was a BABIP. Oh, and the center fielder caught it. Oh, that should have been a hit. You know, he was making contact. If you want to say he was unlucky, if it was, you know, just someone was there with a glove, sure, you can make that argument. But I think overall with Lindor to finalize it, I think this should hopefully be his month. And it's just time will tell. That's all we could really wait for. But, you know, transitioning to on another thing. I do want to answer this question quickly. Alexander, you pretty much said, what are your thoughts on starting Met home game, at 6:40 rather than 7:10? Yeah, I'm down for that. If you want to answer that too, you know, I'm down for that. Yeah. I will say, you know, 6:40 is kind of an odd time. I mean, I eat dinner at like freaking 5 o'clock, like an old person. But, you know, I think, you know, listen to people coming home from work and stuff. I think that's a fair time to settle down. And, you know, 7:10, that's fair. But, you know, typically, let's say the game starts at 7:10, ends at, I don't know, 10 o'clock average. It could be a little late, especially for children. If you have school the next day, you know, I have to wake up 5:36 every morning. So, you know, I need my sleep. You know, coffee can't hold me in the morning. Iced coffee, of course. I'm a typical 19-year-old degenerate, if you want to call me that. Go ahead. But yeah, definitely, I'm all for it. And like I said before, you know, with those 10-10 games, blow me away because you know, extra innings, you'll be there till 2 o'clock. But yeah, I'm for 6:40 games, honestly. 6:40. They have the 12-10 games. I don't like those. Those are way too early, if you ask me. But I like 6:40 games. You know, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't mind a 6:40 game. Honestly, I work overnight. I start work at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, most of the time I'm taking a nice nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon just so I can wake up to watch the game so I won't be exhausted for work. Like, I'm the one that likes to stay up for games no matter what. And I try my best to, especially with these late games. You know, the game starts at 10 o'clock. I'm not going to sleep because I'm not going to miss the game. And, you know, I'm on the radio. I have my phone going on the radio, listening to, you know, for whatever app that I use to listen to the game while I'm working. So I like the 6:40 games. I think that's a good idea. I mean, I guess I'm being biased a little bit because, you know, it can end by like 10, maybe 9:30, maybe, right, and I get some sleep. But with iced coffee, I like iced coffee, and I'm 10 years older than you, so iced coffee is the way to go. You know, I don't care if it's 20 degrees outside in New York. I'm getting iced coffee.
Or sunny Florida. Definitely. I agree. I think those are valid points. Great question, Alexander. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, guys. LFGM, absolutely. I guess if you want, we can get into some comments. If you guys want to drop some comments, usually you guys know how it works. We got a ton of people in the chat. If you want to drop some comments, I'll answer them. Rob will answer them. Whatever you guys want. If you have a question for me, him, both of us, drop some comments, questions, concerns, whatever you guys have. But in terms of this Mets and Padres series, what are your thoughts? I know I briefly went over my preview. What are your thoughts in terms of the pitching, the hitting? What's the concern? If Tatis will be out, what are you under the impression of?
With the Padres series, the best thing that's going for us right now is that we got the three big guns, like I said earlier in the stream. We got Walker, we got Stroman, and DeGrom pitching in this series. Obviously, tomorrow, I don't think they put who's pitching. It's still to be determined. But, I mean, it's probably going to be like Luke Casey, probably.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But it's like we got the three big guys up pitching for us in this series. So that's already a good start for us. The offense looks like it's turning around. I mean, we scored almost 22 runs in the Arizona series, I think. Maybe don't worry about my math, but yeah. So I really think that obviously the Padres have good offense. The Tatis injury is interesting. Maybe he'll come back in the end of the series, but I don't think he's going to play these next two games. So that's already a leg up for us. And with the Padres pitching, with Musgrove and Darvish, who we have tonight, it's going to be tough. They've been solid all year. Obviously Musgrove with the no-hitter, he doesn't throw hard like you were saying earlier in the stream. But he's still a very good pitcher. And, it's going to be a pitching duel. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a lot of runs scored. Maybe, I think every game is going to be a one-run game. But that's when it comes down to our bullpen. May has struggled a little bit the last couple of games. Castro is still really good. Diaz, had that blunder in game 2, but he came back the next game. And he saved the day. I was worried about Diaz. I'm one of those guys who, I have flashbacks to 2019. The Dodger game, and I don't even have to bring it up. I don't want people to start crying on the stream either. Because that's what I do. I have the emotions just like you. Like I'm sitting. We talk about the Washington game, the Nationals game when they came back from all those runs, the Dodger game. Yeah, I don't have to say anything to you guys. You guys know. So that's the biggest issue. And if the bullpen can withstand the hitting of the Padres, I think we're going to be okay. Now, can we take 3 out of 4? Of course. With the pitching we have, yes. But like you were saying earlier, if you wouldn't mind splitting the series, I wouldn't either. Splitting the series, coming back home, I'll take that every day of the week because we do have 7 games against the Padres in the next 10. So that's going to be a big test for us. Even if we split those 7 games, or we can't split those 7 games, but if we go 3-4 and 4-3, I'll take either one. Honestly, obviously, I want to be 4-3, but if you're 3-4, I'll take that because it means that the rest of the division, the Braves and the Phillies, have to be over 500 the next 10 days just to gain games on us in the division. So that's my take on the Padres series. But hey, you got to stay up late at night, unless the people who might be in the chat that are from California, lucky you, But you got to stay up late and just watch the game, and then get an hour's sleep until work.
Yeah, listen, man, whatever works. There's one question. I just saw it and I just got rid of it. Oh, who's from John? Who's been more surprising, Familia or Walker? I mean, the thing is, you could make comparisons only in terms of injuries. Familia was having his mishaps. He's always had a history with this team where Walker was more of a bounce around with, I think with the Mariners, the D-backs, the Blue Jays, they were sending him all over the place. And I think now this is his home. He's been very surprising. I mean, taking a look at his stats right now, I think I said he was 4-1, 1 point something
1.87 or something like that.
One off. I said 1.9 something ERA. He's been on fire. He's throwing gas, not like 102 miles per hour, but he has a nice arsenal of pitches. Where Familia, on the other hand, I mean, we all have memories of Familia, with the 2015 World Series blowing that and past blowings. We saw with Familia, there were concerns with his velocity and everything. Mm-hmm. But overall, to answer the question, I think it's really tough. But in terms of if you were to ask me who's been a bigger surprise, I gotta go Familia, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say I would agree with you on that. Familia for sure, because coming into the season, we thought that we would rely on maybe Betanzas, because everybody thought he was healthy. But there wasn't a lot of guys that we could trust at the time, because Castro was okay last year, but again, we weren't sure about him either. He had control issues. So I would have to say Familia, because Familia came into a lot of games when the starter was struggling. How many times earlier in the season he came in the 5th and 6th inning sometimes, and now that he's shown that he can do things, he's pitching in the 7th, in the 8th inning sometimes. To pick up May or to pick up Castro, and Familia's been a big part. Walker's been a surprise because he's been, I don't know if Walker's a surprise because everybody knows that he has good stuff and he could be a good pitcher and really good at that right now the way he is now, but Walker, if he's healthy, he can be a solid number 2 or even a great number 3. So it really depends, but I do have to go Familia on that one for sure.
Yeah. Nick, the news with Syndergaard. So pretty much they benched him because I think he had some type of inflammation in his elbow, I believe it was.
Yeah.
He was doing well in spring training. He was throwing hard. He was throwing, his typical fastball, 95, 96, 97. I think he was approaching tops, which was definitely a concern for a guy coming back from Tommy John throwing so hard. And I even said that, this man, his he relies on, fast pitches, and one bad move coming back from Tommy John, rotator cuff, you're done. Sorry. And I was saying Rojas, Hefner, they're going to coddle him. Like I said, they coddled with DeGrom. You could only imagine what they would do with Syndergaard. And now it comes to the question is, He's 6 weeks off, so add another 6 weeks to that to get him back into the rhythm. So that's 12 weeks, and it could be more because you have to see with the trainings, with the all that stuff. So I mean, it's going to be a September call up. I know there was talks. I stated it on one of my older streams, and everyone went ballistic at me. Could you put him in a bullpen role? Just because, and I know everyone's going to get mad, just because you're going to be relying on him less. And I hate to say that word, I really do, but he's not going to be someone that you're automatically going to go to in a certain situation due to him coming back from Tommy John. They're going to be very cognizant with him. They're going to coddle him. Mm-hmm. Could a bullpen role be fine? I know you don't like to, typically people don't like to, move a starter into the bullpen. I really thought those 7-inning doubleheaders are going to be very beneficial for this team because you throw Carrasco or, an injured pitcher into one of those. And, that's practically the amount that a pitcher would cover in the 9th. So with Syndergaard, though, that's really it. I know I kind of expanded on that, but, listen, I'm here to inform everyone. But, Syndergaard, it's going to be tough with him. There are talks about if he should get a qualifying offer. Pardon me. In terms of that, I would be down to it personally. I think I would. I know they asked Luis Rojas about it, and I think the thing is, who's going to want to sign him? Sorry. A team like the Yankees. I'm sick now. A team like the Yankees. We saw what they did. They signed Corey Kluber. Yankees are injury prone. Corey Kluber had his fair share of injuries. When they signed him, I said, why are they signing this dude? Do they want another injury? And look what happened. So that's one thing that I could see on another team, especially of a team like the Yankees who wants pitching, or I don't know what other teams in the need for starting pitching market right now. So it's definitely going to be something. I think I saw someone comment about John Smoltz. Definitely, so it's something that I am concerned with. And then Carrasco. Is this dude Jed Lowry? Where is he? Everyone said, oh, but he has an injury. Yeah, I haven't heard anything since. He sprained or tore his hamstring in spring training from basic fundamentals. He was going to be out. He was supposed to come back mid-May. Where is he? I don't know. But I think once we get these two guys back, you have a nice rotation. But, yeah, pretty much, Nick, I'm expecting we're not going to see this dude till at least September is my prediction. I wish he can come back soon. It's definitely going to be a ton of time. Would you split? I don't know. What was it? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah.
Oh, with Syndergaard? Well, with Syndergaard, it's probably going to be like a September call-up, basically. 6 weeks without throwing. You have to ramp back up, so he's probably going to do rehab stuff in 6 weeks when, he'll have like 2 innings here, 3 innings there in the minors. So even if he does come back, to the major league team in, say, like the first week in September, what would he pitch? 4 innings? So, who knows? We might be in a fight for the division. And, we can't really rely on Syndergaard to go 6 innings if we need him. If the bullpen's struggling. So now you might have to have a piggyback, like a bullpen game, make him pitch 2 innings, then bring in Foley or whoever else you want to bring in, a Castro, whatever, whatever they want to do, a Lucchesi and all that. So, I would even look to put Syndergaard or pin him into the rotation because, all he has to do in 6 weeks, he throws 1 pitch, he still feels pain. That's it. He's done for the season. But with the qualifying offer, I think it's a smart move. We don't have the Wilpons anymore, so we don't have to worry about money. And I think, just offering this qualifying offer protects us, because if he does go somewhere else, we get a draft pick from that team. So that's always important. And then, with Stroman, when it comes to with his qualifying offer, the Mets are going to give him a qualifying offer also. So
I do know.
yeah, and money's not an issue anymore. So I think the Mets will at least give him a qualifying offer, if not, or just give him, you can even give him a 2-year deal, as like a show me type of deal. I don't think they'll do that, but a 1-year qualifying offer, I think they should give that to Syndergaard, because it just makes sense, even if he doesn't pitch this year.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, we definitely have a ton of guys on the market, and I think it's going to come down to having to re-sign these guys. Stroman, I think he's deserving it. If he continues to play what he's been, or fluctuate around what he's been, I definitely think he deserves a contract.
What would you give him?
You guys have like Conforto, and he's injured. Then you have guys like Syndergaard who are injured. But when it comes to the concern is, I don't really think there's that much starting pitchers on the market next year. I mean, you have like Max Scherzer, but I mean, what if we learned in signing pitchers into their 30s? I mean, just look at like John Lester or some scenario like that. So I don't want the Mets to fall into that type of trap. But it's definitely and I think during this during the trade deadline, I think we're going to obtain a pitcher.
I think so too.
I think
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Oh no, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like when it comes, I know somebody said it in the comments. I'm not sure if they were talking about a trade with the with like an offensive player or a position player or a pitching. But I agree with you. I think we're going to have to go out and either probably acquire a pitcher. And the only reason why I say that, and maybe you have the same reason why, is because, look at David Peterson. He hasn't been good. He's been struggling. He couldn't even get out of the first inning yesterday. And then we don't know about Carrasco. I mean, we haven't heard nothing about him. And, if those two are not, David Peterson's not going to pitch well, and Carrasco is not coming back anytime soon. Now you only got 3 pitchers. And it's about time. I know you did a video about Thomas Szapucki.
Yeah.
And it's about time for him to get a chance. He's pitched well in the minors. It's about time to give him a shot. And you know what? Why not? David, why can't you send Peterson down? He's struggling. Send him down. He has options. So send him down to the minors. Let him get right. Bring up Szapucki for like 2 starts. That's all. See what he does. And if he pitches well, he took Peterson's spot. Or you can just bring Peterson up when he feels right. And then you got Szapucki and you got Peterson as your 4 or 5 until Carrasco, Syndergaard, and whoever else is going to come back. So if that doesn't happen with Szapucki, if they don't want to bring him up for whatever reason, then the Mets do have to make a trade for at least a solid, maybe like a number 3, number 4 pitcher. Nobody big, but definitely a solid pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, the trade deadline would be the point to go. And I mean, in terms of our farm system, guys like Matthew Allen, they're going to have a pushback. I mean, so many guys get even Szapucki himself got Tommy John while in the minor league. So that's common. That's not a concern. But it's, just something to monitor in terms of velocity, speed, where it travels, where it breaks, always something to just keep in the back of our heads. Yep. But yeah, I agree 200%. I think pitching wins championships. And I don't want to say this. I think I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but our farm system is great in terms of offense and defense, but we don't have a whole lot of pitching in there. I mean, you look at our top 10, you got some guys, but they're
you got JT Ginn, who I like a lot from Mississippi State. I like
4 years away.
He just came back. Yeah, he just came back.
Stated in one of your streams, do you want to win now, or do you want to win in 5 years when half the guys like DeGrom or Alonso were much older and going up, and our rotation's different. Now you have a nice rotation. You have a rotation of DeGrom, Stroman, Walker. Take advantage of that. We probably that 1, 2, 3. I would feel so comfortable going into a series in the playoffs, probably with that 1, 2, 3 right there, with a healthy, obviously not what we have now, with the healthy, Conforto, Nimmo, Davis, Alonso, lineup, and it just comes to a concern is that it's now or 5 years. And personally, I'd rather it now, to be honest with you. I mean, we have best player.
Yeah, exactly. And, I got killed in the comments. I mean, you probably even see the comments in my video. Like, people went crazy when they were talking about, oh, why do you want to give up these prospects for a Chris Bryant? Because that was the video I did with Chris Bryant about, that was what, the whole, we're not sure about JD Davis and, VR and all that stuff. So we were like, why don't we try to get Chris Bryant now when there's not much competition to get him, even though the Cubs are doing really well right now, they're not going to trade anybody. But, with people killing me in the comments about, oh, why do you want to give prospects, is because you have the best pitcher in baseball. Just like he said, we have the best pitcher in baseball in Jacob deGrom. He's 32 years old, 33 years old.
Correct.
And, when you wait for Mauricio, Matthew Allen, Pete Crow Armstrong, we can go on and on. of Alvarez, all those guys. Maybe Mauricio could be up next year, but other than that, nobody's going to be here for at least 2-3 years. And by the time DeGrom will be 36, 37 years old, and it's not really smart to waste the greatness of Jacob DeGrom in Cy Young years. And then when we finally actually have a great offense and all these big guys come up, and even if these top 5 in our prospect list come up to the majors and they perform excellent. And now we have a 37-year-old Jacob DeGrom who probably still be really good because he's Jacob DeGrom, but he won't be Cy Young great. And who else is going to be in this rotation? We don't really know. And to waste the years like that makes no sense. And the Wilpons did enough of that with Jacob DeGrom. How many
Surprised they gave him a contract.
Yeah, how many Todd Fraziers do we need? Guys like that like batted 210 and never did nothing, and once in a blue moon would connect for a home run. The Wilpons never put a team behind DeGrom that can compete for a World Series. Now the core that I talked about, everybody's like, you talked about it. People talked about that are killing both of us about our minor leagues not being that good, our prospects not being that good. But yet we have Conforto, we have Dominic Smith, we have Pete Alonso, we have Jeff McNeil. I mean, you can go on and on.
Never heard of it. I'm going to say it. I think out of all those guys you named, I only knew Alonso because he was a Florida Gator. I know I have a lot of family.
Okay.
If 5 years ago, if you were to say Jeff McNeil, I'd say, who the heck is that?
No, absolutely. Like I said, unless you study the minor league system, but at the end of the day, so many of these baseball reporters and everything like that kept on saying, we're like, oh, the Mets don't have a good farm system, but yet the Mets pull out guys out of nowhere and they perform in the major leagues. And you've seen it with Jeff McNeil, who was basically not even a prospect that anybody cared about or known. And, in 2019, everybody found out about him. In 2018, he found out about him. And so forth. Like, same thing with Dom Smith. When Dom Smith came up, he was supposed to be this big thing. He was supposed to be the guy who was going to be man in first base for 10 years before we heard about Alonso. And, it's this core that we have is from the minor league system. And, people don't understand it. Like, how many more minor leaguers do you want to come up to help a team that already got the core from their minors up? They basically got the core 4 up here now, not including Jacob DeGrom, Syndergaard. And if you want to keep on going, obviously we lost Wheeler. We got rid of Matz. But, we have guys that came up over the last 5 years that is part of the minor league system. And that shows you that you can never just take baseball writers at their word when they rank minor league systems, because at the end of the day, nobody can tell you that the Mets system is really bad when all these guys were in the minor leagues a couple of years ago and are performing and starters for this Mets team.
No, absolutely. The farm system, there what lies ahead. But I think it comes to a point where, it's, you want to win now or do you want to win in 3 years when half of our guys could not be there? The situations could be different. I will say, though, with having, new ownership that everyone has, optimism about, I'm not as concerned. But obviously we wouldn't be having a conversation if we had, Fred and Jeff Coupon. But yeah, no, I forgot if someone asked that or if we brought that up, but that was great. Next comment from my friend Sergio Curry. Why'd you pick the Mets as your favorite team? And then this will be a double. And then Marco asks, who's your favorite player on the Mets now? So pretty much the reason I picked my team is the Mets, simply because, right now I live in Florida, but for the first 18 years, I lived in New York. I was Long Island born, Long Island raised. I went to school there, played baseball, did all of my whatever fun stuff down there. I was a resident, Oceanside, New York, Long Island. And it was probably 45 minutes, 30 minutes without traffic from Citi Field. So I remember going to, Friday night, Saturday day games at Citi Field. But pretty much, typically Long Islanders, most of them are, Mets, pretty much Mets fans. I'd say Yankees is more like the Bronx and upstate. And I remember, I was born 02. I remember, the 2006 is really when I started to get into baseball, which is like around the time, Piazza retired. I think that's probably the first memory I have. And I remember that core. I'm sure you know all about, people in the comments too. Our friend Fernando, I'm sure he knows all about, the Carlos Beltran striking out. And I don't remember that, a whole lot. Obviously, I was very young. But, obviously with all that, 2006, 2007 is when I started to get into baseball. And that's, when you had your core and Reyes, Beltran, Delgado, right? So definitely something too. And then Marco asked, who's your favorite player now? Do I need to answer it? His jersey's right there. Right there. I have a poster of him right there. Pete Alonso is my favorite. How you?
Yeah, so I became a Met fan because my father is a Met fan, and my parents are Met fans, and my dad was just really big into sports, and not really my mom, but my dad was really into sports. He's a Mets, Jets, Ranger fan, so it's kind of like I fell into that except for football. But yeah, my dad was a big Met fan, and when he was working for a company that had box seats at Shea Stadium
Nice.
on field level, and we used to go every Saturday when he had off, all the day games. And for some reason, it was always like 95 degrees when we went to these games. But that's how I became a Met fan. And I know you want to know my favorite player now. My favorite player now, I have a lot, but I really like the gritty players. And I was always a fan of Tomas Nido. And I know it's not a popular name, but Nido is my guy.
His jerseys are selling.
Yeah, exactly. But Nito and I, obviously I gotta love. One of my favorite players also is Conforto. But you can probably see my age when I tell you this, but back in the day, my favorite player was Ray Ordonez. And because I played shortstop, I played shortstop in high school and little league and college and everything like that. And I always fell in love with Ray Ordonez, even though he hit 210 every year. He was one of the best shortstops in the game. And I always idolized him, and I try to make the spinning catches and sliding and
more kind of now. He's that he has great defense. He'll make them wicked plays. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that's how I became a Met fan, and that's my favorite players.
Two great stories. What's going on, man? From Marco again. Thoughts on the 3-0 with Yermin Mercedes? Yeah, I mean, I'll tie it into everything. With the Tatis. Pretty much, it's really something that was a concern. Not this, of course, with La Russa was the concern. We look at Tony La Russa, we look at the age difference, we look at the cultural difference, more the age difference. He doesn't relate to these guys. He is old. He is old school. He believes, he's probably against the DH. He didn't know about any of the runner on second in the extra innings rules. He is old school. He doesn't understand the old concept of baseball. He wants sportsmanship. I'll tell you what, La Russa, if you want sportsmanship, after the game, why don't you do like the little leaguers and you line up and you high-five the opposing team? That's sportsmanship. Yeah. But I think with Yermin Mercedes specifically, this dude, he's eligible for arbitration. He's a rookie. He doesn't have a set-in-stone contract yet. He's not Tatis, Lindor, Trout with a decade-long contract, and that's set for the most part. This dude, he's trying to set himself. And every hit, every RBI, every strikeout, every walk, everything he does is going to determine a dollar. It's going to determine it. And I think you're pretty much telling your guys not to do their job. I know everyone says that. I'll say it again to end that train, but it's his job. He's not going to go up there and, I'll take the pitch. Or, I mean, if the count was 3-2, would he have got it mad? I don't know. But simply enough, ever since Yermin Mercedes had that incident, he's been struggling with the bat. And then you have Tony La Russa being a douchebag, pardon my language. He's being a douchebag piece of crap. And he's pretty much saying, he plays the game of baseball. For me, respect. I apologize to the Twins. I can understand why they hit at him. Didn't Kevin Pillar get hit like the night prior? You're okay with your hitters getting hit. As a Mets fan, I saw Pillar got hit. I don't think it's going to be that gruesome with a White Sox hitter, but the fact that you want your players to get hit, and then you have your players speaking out against you, like Lance Lynn, Tim Anderson, it's something that this group doesn't matter. And I know with La Russa, are there any rules about drinking and driving? I mean, to my knowledge, it's illegal in the United States. You charge. So twice, not once, twice. So, maybe Yermin Mercedes could swing one more and 3-0. But my plan is let the kids play. I understand. I know we have a couple older people in this chat. There was one person who said he went to like one of the first games at Shea Stadium. I understand the old nostalgic, and I get that. I understand sportsmanship. I play baseball myself. I'm a second baseman. I'm sure most of you know that by now. I understand sportsmanship. When I'm on second base, I pat the guy in the back, say, hey, man, nice hit. If I know him, I'll joke with him. I'll say something stupid. I don't know, whatever. But, swing when you want, do what you want, play the game. This is why baseball's going lower, is because you have all this crap going on in terms of numbers that nobody cares about. And the fact that one analytic means, you're not good because this analytic says you this value. We're such in a day and age where people just judge people And just the fact is, it's really appalling that La Russa had that issue. I think it's very unfortunate. I would apologize to the White Sox if Yerman Mercedes was on this call right now. I'd say, keep going at it. And that was great to see, his team do that. And even with Tatis last year, Tingler, that was an issue with him. Tingler even said, La Russa kind of took it to an extreme when he kind of destroyed him in the press conference room. So that really meant something. And La Russa, do I think, he is the manager for this year? Sure. Is he the manager for the long term with his young core? No.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, see, I consider myself old school, but at the same time, like I'm not. I never see as a Met fan. I never think any lead is safe, no matter what.
That's what I was gonna say. You give up so many runs, scores.
Yeah, and it's like we just talked about Diaz about giving up all those runs, losing to the Nationals with a 6-run lead. No lead is safe anymore in baseball, and I always feel like keep on adding on until you can't add on anymore. There's no time limit in baseball. If a team gets hot in the 5th inning and the 6th inning when they're down 10 runs, they can slowly get 2 runs here, 3 runs here, 4 runs there. All of a sudden, it's a 10-9 game going into the night, and you lose the game. Then you're going to complain to the manager about, oh, well, why'd you bring in, the last guy on the bench in your bullpen, just, for mop-up duty because you have a 10-run lead, and then you lose, and then you get killed for it. So, with Tony La Russa, I guess I wouldn't say he should have came out publicly, but he should have went to the Mercedes and be like, listen, it's not really the best thing in the world to do. Great, you hit a home run, cool. But like at the end, just ease on a little bit, but at the same time, if the White Sox would have somehow lost that game, what would have happened then?
Nothing. Yerman, why did you swing at that?
Yeah, exactly. And then when we talked about La Russa, I don't understand the hire with La Russa. I mean, the White Sox are a deadly team. They're a team that can be a World Series contender, no doubt. And to have La Russa as your manager just didn't make no sense. And he hasn't managed in 5-6 years. It's been a while. And to put him with a young team who is one of the best teams in baseball, with all these young guys, made no sense to me. And I wouldn't be surprised if La Russa gets, it would be funny though, because what happens if the White Sox happen to win the World Series? And what do you do with La Russa then? Can you fire him? I would. I still would, because I think he's a joke of a manager now. And he's just not right for the game anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a different year. Now we're getting these younger managers. Luis Rojas, he's like 37. He's Robbie Cano's age. You have Craig Counsell, who's like 43, 42, something like that. You're getting these younger managers. You have Tingler. And that's, listen, as much as you said, I love the old parts of baseball, it's time to move on. It's unfortunate, it's great. I always enjoy the old games, the old highlights, the sportsmanship, but it's a different time. Let the kids play,
Yep, absolutely.
It's pretty basic. For Manny Cam, who are you voting for the All-Star game? So MLB uploaded the All-Star ballots. As you know, I'm obsessed with the All-Star game. I label it the voting process is a popularity contest. But pretty much I'll briefly go over who I voted for. So for the American League, I had Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Marcus Semien, Yoan Moncada, Alexander Bogaerts, Aldolus Garcia, Mike Trout, Alex Verdugo, Mitch Garver. The thing with American League catches is there aren't really that many performing well this year. And obviously the DH was tough, but I got to go JD Martinez just because Ohtani, he'll probably make a pitching appearance. Maybe, you never know. National League, we got my boy Pete Alonso. Let's go. Pete Alonso. Honestly, I think he'll make it. You have 2 starters, and then I believe you have 2 or 3 alternates. So give or take, Freeman starts, maybe Muncy, Rizzo, and then Alonso. So I think that's fair. Second base, I got Chaz Chisholm. Second base, if McNeil, I would say him automatically, but there's really no one that's caught my eye. Third base, Chris Bryant. Definitely tough decision, but I got to go Chris Bryant. Shortstop, Trey Turner. I think he's the best shortstop in baseball. I know everyone was not so happy of that. Tatis, no. Trey Turner. And that's coming from a divisional rival, so just keep that in mind. I'll get my national jersey if needed. Outfield, Acuna. I know Betts hasn't been performing well, but like I said, popularity contest. And I put Trout in there, and he's hurt, so same thing. Juan Soto and catcher JT Realmuto. So that's my All-Star game. Obviously, I in terms of who's going to make it for the Mets, DeGrom, no doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe even Walker. I could see him getting in there. I could see maybe a bullpen guy like Castro or Diaz getting in. In terms of the bats, I mean, during the, I'd say Alonso, McNeil, but McNeil's out. I'll go with Alonso. I still don't think he would. I still think he is. He's been looking hot. Yeah, he's not hitting home runs, but everyone's like, oh, he's not hitting home runs. Okay, that means he's a bad player. No,
Nobody is.
he's getting on base. He's getting on base. I mean, he's not getting on base like Nimmo's streak, but he's doing something. He's pulling the ball to the outfield. He's pulling the ball off the wall. Home run. He's doing his job. His batting average is going to increase. RBIs are going to go up. Home runs are going to go up. Average, maybe not as much as we expected, especially with the dead ball and just, it was too good to be true. 53 home runs this year, obviously. Could happen. You never know. But yeah, that's my all-star ballot. But yes, I think DeGrom, Walker, Alonso as of right now in today's day.
Yeah. I haven't voted yet, but that's actually a great list that you put up there.
Yeah.
That you talked about. When it comes to the Mets, DeGrom, obviously, Walker, and I think Diaz is going to get. I think we're going to get 3 pitchers in the All-Star game. Pete Alonso, because he's popular, probably will get an All-Star bid. I don't know if he'll start, like you said. Freeman probably would.
Yeah, probably alternate.
Yeah, and Alonso will probably get it. Anybody else, everybody's been hurt, so maybe Conforto would have been an All-Star. We don't know.
Nimmo, Nick Neal.
Exactly.
I think our whole team really.
Yeah, exactly, and that's true. Who knows? VR might even get some votes. As good as he's been for this team, but obviously he won't. But you know what? Maybe you'll get. Like there's always they always have like 1 or 2 players that the managers choose to be on the All-Star team. Maybe like one of the bench mom might get a nod for the All-Star game. Tomas Nido, I'm voting for him.
So then we're gonna have Roberts. I wonder who he's gonna choose. Probably choose one on his own team. Probably choose Bellinger.
Probably would.
I mean, let's be real. Guys like Bellinger is still gonna make it. Betts, they're still gonna make it. It's a popularity contest, and like you said, Alonso. A lot of people. Some people don't like him. Some people call him Brian Howard, 1-year wonder. But I think a lot of people do like him. His power's obsessive, and they're gonna want him at the home run derby. So if they want him at the home run derby, which I did a video on that, please check that out, everyone. They're gonna want him at the All-Star game. And Coors Field. It's a bummer it's not in Atlanta for other reasons. We're not gonna get into that because I would have went to it obviously. But Coors Field, it's nice. I'm fine with it. I think there was an All-Star game there in the past, so that'll be nice. Honestly, the timings are annoying, my friend. I know. Thoughts on Trevor May? Yeah, Trevor May's been nice addition. Exclude what happened last part. Coming into the season, I know from my past notes, I remember this off the top of my head. His velocity was the issue, but his velocity has been average, and so of his changeup. His changeup was is the velocity going to be good? Is the changeup going to be good? He's been occupying both of those greatly. He's one of those few Met players that, we see his YouTube videos, and we get to see guys like Jacob deGrom, Pete Alonso, Miguel Castro in the background. So that's great to see. I always enjoy that. But yeah, I think he's a nice bullpen piece. Like I said, great velocity, great changeup, which was a concern coming into the season. I have no complaints for him. I think that ball was foul, and I think that was poor managing on Luis Rojas and the with the coaches to put him in after throwing 30 pitches the day prior. You rest him. They should have used him in the San Diego series. I think they will probably second or third game or fourth, but I have no complaints with him overall. I think he will be a nice addition to this bullpen. And like we said, bullpen's important. Managers treat their pitchers like chess pieces. They take them out after 5 innings. Just ask Kevin Cash or Luis Rojas at this rate. No complaints with May.
Yeah, May's been good. After the first game in Philadelphia, the first game of the season, he basically lost the game for us, lost that DeGrom stop for us. But, after that, May's been good until game 2 of the Diamondback series. That ball was foul. But when it comes to Major League Baseball and camera angles, they have all these stupid camera angles that don't even matter. Like they got, sometimes with ESPN, they'll have a camera right in front of home plate in the dirt that's looking up at the catcher and the batter. Like, why doesn't Major League Baseball, if you're going to use instant replay for situations like that, why don't they have cameras in every ballpark right down the line? So you have an idea. So if the umpire makes a mistake, they can correct it. Because that ball, like I said, the angles that we got from SNY, you couldn't really tell 100%, but it looked foul. And, I just don't understand. Invest in something that you're trying to use in replay. Put camera angles down the line in every ballpark. So if there's an issue, you can find out right away through do a replay with those camera angles. You know, they worry about all the great shots that they get. You know, you'll have a beautiful shot of like a center field shot where you can see the guy jumping over to catch the ball over the wall. You get those beautiful camera angles, but when it comes to basically for a game-winning play like we saw in the Mets Diamondback series, they don't have a camera angle. Like, where is all these millions of dollars floating through the league when you can easily just – yeah, exactly. It just doesn't make no sense. And I truly believe that Major League Baseball, they need to invest in replay if they're going to use it properly. If not, scrap it completely, and let's just go with the calls on the field.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was the anniversary of the Garlock incident,
Yep.
And I pointed out I was out to one of my friends, and I pointed out because we were talking about it. I was like, MLB, you could challenge, if a runner's safe at the base, but you can't challenge a foul ball. And listen, I understand some calls are subjective, if you want to call it. Sure, I get that in terms of strikes and balls. That'll be annoying. You're going to sit there and challenge it. The umpire should automatically be able to see it, because they're listening to the people in like Flushing or Astoria or wherever it is. Give them an iPad. I don't have an iPad in front of me, but give them an iPad and let them watch it physically. Sure, they can get the answer from them, but let them also see it, because then maybe they could disagree with the call and have a little rebuttal and maybe come to a better conclusion.
They had no say in it. The umpires on the field had no say. It makes no sense.
It's stupid. Let the crew chief do his job. I mean, he's kind of the boss of the umpires. And then simply enough, they should also put timing for reviews. It's like we say for 20 minutes. It's like, let's go on with the game. Come on, make a call. If you don't see anything, it's probably what you guys called for the most part. I mean, like I said, that game, they probably knew it was foul. They just wanted to call it a day. It was late. I wasn't super upset just because the next day I was upset. But at the moment, I was just tired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and with the replay thing, like, what I don't understand, it was a hard call to make, so I guess you want to keep the call on the field. Like, if you don't get it, like, there needs to be a really time limit that you have to put in place, that you have to enforce. Like, if you want to put 2 minutes, have 2 minutes that they can look at it, and then the feed goes off. You can't look at it anymore. And then whatever the call was on the field, that's what it was. And they don't do that. Like that foul ball, that fair ball that they called it, but that foul ball in the Diamondback series, there's no way they had a quicker call than they would on an obvious safer out call, and it took them like not even a minute to say, that ball was fair and we lost the game. It would be interesting to see, like, why does it, when there's an obvious call, there's an obvious out of safe call, it takes them 5 minutes to figure out, but when it's something that's very close like that, it took them not even a minute to say that ball was fair and the game was over on a crucial call.
Oh, that's true, man. The review play system really needs to be reviewed.
Yep.
No staying. Voting for All-Stars, Alonso. But yeah, like I said, I mean, honestly, Lindor wouldn't be surprising because, I mean, honestly, let's be real. One of my friends, he's a Marlins fan, and he's like, so Lindor's been so great for you guys, huh? I thought he was being sarcastic. I'm like, shut up. He's like, what do you mean?
Like, go to the games? Come on.
I'm like, listen, I understand you go watch Marlins games, but you've seen a couple of Met Marlins games this series. And he's like, well, I just thought that was a bad series. Lindor, yeah, I think he's heating up. Do I think he'll make the All-Star game? Is there a popularity contest? Yes, but I think in terms of All-Stars, I mean, I put Trey Turner. Tatis will if Tatis is hurt, he won't make it. So maybe a guy like Story, because it's in Colorado, he'll popularity, like I said. Story, Baez, maybe. He swings.
A lot of shortstops that are good, man. A lot of shortstops.
Swings at everything. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely going to be a tough. Yeah, listen, you can't turn your back on the Mets. LFGM, absolutely. Is Villar playing today? I think he is on day-to-day, so maybe he'll be eligible off the bench.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes with day-to-day. What's going on, Steven? Hello, Hayden. We're doing well.
What's up, Steven? How you doing?
It's going well. We need a guy like Joey Gallo, Chris Bryant, or Herman Marquez, or Escobar. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Are you looking at it from a perspective from today or for going into the future? I mean, a lot of our guys are getting healthier. In terms of Gallo, I guess the power would be nice. He strikes out like I think he leads the league in strikeouts. Bryant, give me him right now. I mean, if you could give me him through the screen, I'd take him. And
I'll drive him to the Queens. I'll pick him up in Chicago. Yeah.
I mean, listen, meet you there. I'll grab one of the Floridian golf carts outside or Corvette or something. We'll meet Chris Bryant. We'll get him. Herman Marquez, I can't really say a whole lot about him. I will say he's not been an expectation when playing with the Rockies, and I mean, especially being in a hitter's ballpark. I think that definitely has an effect. But yeah, overall, I think Bryant's the most reasonable. I mean, there's a big difference between Gallo and Bryant. But yeah, Bryant's been nice. Definitely talks an MVP, over 300 batting average. He's been nice. I definitely wouldn't mind him on this team. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if Piazza got back involved with the Mets. I don't know if he'd want to be honest with you. I think
he made his money, and he loves being in Italy with his wife. So
yeah, all I see on Instagram is him in Italy and eating Italian food, which is good for him. But I would like a former Met player that's well known to be involved with the players. I know guys like David Wright, and they're all in the front offices. Well, maybe every now and then, put them on the field with some of the guys. Maybe they could teach them something.
Yep.
Maybe working fundamentals with them. Maybe the smallest thing could help a guy. You never know.
Absolutely.
I mean, there was that conversation with DeGrom that turned him into something, so maybe something like this. Yeah. Alonso's my GOAT. I have to agree with you, man. See you later. I appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, definitely always sucks when the battery dies, but I appreciate you tuning in, man. LFGM.
Absolutely.
We got two. All right. I appreciate you tuning in, Giovanni. Also, LFGM.
LFGM.
I can't believe Shohei Ohtani didn't make the top one. Real, but that was from the offseason, or was that from right now?
I think they talked about that on MLB Network.
Oh yeah, that was not the Mad Dog Rusa guy. It was the other guy. He pretty much said that. Oh, he can't. I don't know. He said something stupid. He said he's not hitting this much or something, and he's a bad player. It was really ridiculous. Yeah,
he's doing something amazing. He's doing something amazing right now, pitching and playing basically every day. That's insane.
If he could be healthy and continue what he's doing, I mean, you don't see a guy who goes out there every 5 days. I mean, I know there was the talk of him just pitching on Sundays. I don't know if that's still in effect. If anyone is familiar with the Angels, let me know. Because I know last year they were doing that, but I don't know if that was for the 60-game season in terms of health. But I think he plays. I think he goes out there every 5 days now, and he's in the batting order for most of the day. If he stays healthy, easily be an MVP candidate. There's a lot of good ones though, but he could be one. What's up? What's going on, Connor? What's going on? DeGrom will finish the season. Yeah, if he could beat the record, what is the record for ERA right now? ERA.
That's a good question.
Record MLB. I know it's like a 1 point. Ed Walsh holds the ERA record 1.8. Yeah, listen, if I think it's doable. Like I said, obviously, if this was a 60-game season, no doubt. But, listen, that's what happened with DeGrom is that last start, I think it was against the Nationals. He gave up 2 runs with that Dom Smith running into the wall, and that kind of raised his ERA for a bit. They took him out. He got the loss, and that kind of was the reason he didn't want to win Cy Young. Obviously, if it was a full season, DeGrom would likely be Cy Young. If you want to call it a Mickey Mouse Cy Young for Bauer, whatever. But automatically, I definitely think DeGrom will definitely be one of the ERA leaders, whip leaders, strikeout leaders. Record is 1 point. Okay, yeah. So I think that's doable. It's going to be a challenge, but DeGrom, he's getting better with age. So many people say, how does his velocity go up when he gets older? Young
all mechanics. All mechanics.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. He was a young shortstop, light hitting shortstop in college. So he had less time, I said in my past videos, to make, silly adolescent moves or, less innings on his arm, surgery, injury prevention. But now he's getting older. And everyone says, "Oh, we have to be careful with him because he's getting older." I don't care that he's getting older. I'm, the how much he throws is the concern, not the age. It's how much he throws, and it's unbelievable. I think there were 10 straight pitches that were over 100 miles per hour, and I was
that's insane.
Geesh. Yeah, I will agree with you on that. I would say Italian, yeah, probably New York City. I mean, I went to upstate New York, and I got sushi, and it was ugh. Upstate. It was near Plattsburgh, which is all the way by Vermont.
It's Canada, basically.
Yeah, I pretty much say. Is this New York or is this Canada or Vermont? They should hire Pedro Martinez for what specifically? Is a pitching coach or
I think Hefner's been good, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. I know there is there's some people aren't too big on him sometimes, but no, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like I said, I think it's great to keep guys simply involved with this team. So David Wright, he could be a hitting coach. Maybe go out take BP with them one day if they're playing a scrimmage game. Maybe throw them in the field, help out with the guys, turn a double play with them. I don't know. Well, yeah, and I mean, it took the Dodgers a pandemic to win a World Series. I mean, guys like Jose Abreu, you think they win the world? You think they win MVP? Freeman, maybe. Cy Young though and stuff. Bieber, I think Shane Bieber still is a likable Cy Young for this year, but yeah, definitely 2020 was just the whole year itself. I mean, do you really think the Marlins are going to make the playoffs? Yeah, looking at the Dodgers, absolutely. Mookie Betts or Wilson, 28 likes. Yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Great stream as always. We'll keep going for a bit. We'll call it in a little bit, but great stream as always. If you guys want to leave some more comments, questions, check out Talking Mets with Rob's channel. I will put a link to that in the chat very momentarily if you guys want to check that out. Me and Greg, subscribe to him. I'm sure most of you guys are. If you aren't, then you're not a Mets fan. I don't know what to tell you.
Thanks for that plug, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations to Coolspin, by the way, for winning the bobblehead in the giveaway. Congrats, Coolspin.
He is here.
Don't forget, email me. Don't forget, email me, buddy.
Yeah, cool.
So I can get your info.
Cool. Was that Jeff McNeil bobblehead I saw? Yes.
Yeah, the flying squirrel.
And we all know who won the jersey.
That's right. It's right there. I see it. That's right.
Yeah, have it flying on the wall, proud. I was the first contest winner. I remember. I was like listening to it, and you were like, "Mets Talk with Hayden J." I was like, "What the heck? What did I?" Yeah. I forgot. I put my name in that, so I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, it's funny because I was at spring training in Florida in my hotel when I did that video when I set up everything, and look, I'm the one, I'm fair, I'm honest, and everything like that, and I was thinking of a way to be fair for everybody. So I'm like, oh wow, a wheel spin would be great. It'd be cool to look at. On the video and everything like that. And I'm like, oh, let me do it. So I set it up in my hotel room in Port St. Lucie. And I figured out, and I was like, oh, and look, there was about, I think it was like 37 people that entered to win. And, I was like, I might not know somebody who actually won. I don't care. It doesn't really matter, because I want to be fair. But when I saw it was you, I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then, it took me a little longer to get you to the jersey because I was flying out of Florida, flying into New York, and I was going crazy. Yeah. But it will take me about a week, Coolspin, to probably get everything ready to go to send you that bobblehead. So congrats again. And look out. I'm close to 1,000 subscribers, guys. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a big giveaway. Big giveaway. No bobblehead, no jersey, even though jersey's nice. But yeah, maybe Mets tickets. Maybe I'm going to give you a Mets jacket. I'm not sure yet. I might get both. Who knows? In the Coolspin, I'm giving you something nice also that comes with the bobblehead. I'm going to give you something extra. So when you get the box, you'll see something extra. So hopefully you like it.
Yeah. As you guys know, I am the memorabilia collector myself. I know everyone wants me to do my videos. They always comment in these streams. I'm surprised no one's commented today. Do a hat collection, do a video collection, do a memorabilia collection, a baseball card collection. I'm definitely going to want to get into that. Maybe a prize would be nice. Maybe once I get 500. I've been gaining subs. I think I'm at like 307 or 306, something like that. So I'm gaining subs. Now I'm starting to get more consistent with the channel, more live streams so that gets more subscribers, more great people to talk about the game with. Passionate fans always love that. We have a great community.
So let's get them more subscribers for Caden. Let's go.
Yeah, you got to get your viewers in. I'm gonna get my viewers on. We're gonna
man. Like I said, you can always come into my live stream. One of these days I'm gonna get you on my stream. We get there, get some subs for you. And anytime you already know, anytime you come into my stream, put your link on the comments. I'm not gonna block you like some people. Put your link on there. Talk about your videos. Promote yourself, basically. I'll let you do that. No problem, man.
Yeah. I will.
Collections. I got a hat collection. I tell you that. I got them all over the place. All over.
Oh yeah, we got
all these bad boys. Oh yeah, I got them all. Man. I probably got about 120 hats, if not more.
Oh yeah, we're flexing on hats. I'll bring my hat collection out.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I appreciate it. Like I said, we definitely a hat collection, jersey collection. Memorabilia collection will definitely be in stores soon. Talon Walker can end up being one of the greatest free agents. I don't know. I don't want to say history, but I think he could be maybe in the past couple of years. I mean, Steve Cohen era, no doubt, because he's. But I mean, definitely. I mean, how often would we see this? I mean, let's say we had the Wilpons in rain this offseason. Ryan Braun, Albert Pujols, offseason, you're done. Maybe Wainwright, Porcello would have been kept. That's your offseason. So Ryan Braun, I don't even think he's picked up a baseball since, so he's done, no doubt. Great stream. Appreciate it as always. Way to go, Coolspin. Yeah, he won the Jeff McNeil squirrel. I was about to say like rat, squirrel bobblehead.
Or raccoon. You never know nowadays.
Oh, raccoon, right. Real spin for the giveaway was so stressful because it was going so slow.
Yeah, that was my plan. I wanted it to go slow. I wanted it to be really, really entertaining. And then like I actually split it up to like I had to change the speeds and do it. Like everybody thought it was frozen, but it wasn't. It was just the way I did the spin. And I wanted to be a little different from the last time. So it was kind of like a little bit of anticipation. Like somebody's name would pass and it was slowing down and slowing down. And then people were like, no. So I was trying to get some anticipation going.
No, I like that. It's funny. Do you think Lindor is finally turning the corner? He's been looking like it. I mean, let's take a little look at Francisco Lindor. I'll share my screen with you guys momentarily. I don't want his contract. I've been liking what I've seen out of him these last couple of days. I know that was one of the kind of first topics we spoke about. I mean, taking a look at Francisco Lindor. So far, these last couple games will go on Baseball Reference. Actually, no, we won't because it doesn't give you the last. We'll go on MLB. I mean, just taking a look, his last, like you said, I think you said his last 7 games, he's batting .310. I mean, these are nice stats. I mean, I can't really complain with that. 9 out of 29. Okay, maybe you can get a couple, maybe a handful of more hits, sure. I mean, obviously these numbers you don't like, but I've definitely been liking what I've been seeing at him. Like you said, he's getting advantage of that fastball. His mechanically, he's been looking much better. Like we said, in terms of his approach at the plate. He's going up there and he's thinking to himself, oh, I'm not gonna, go there and just, try to get on base. He's just gonna try to go there and do what he needs to do. And that's all I think we could think about Lindor. It's going to be exciting to see, and I just think it'll be time, honestly.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time he started to get going. I guess the warm weather is starting to help him a little bit because he if you look at his numbers through his career, he's a very bad offensive player in May. It just happened to spill into April as well. Yeah. But I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be I don't know if he's going to get the 270, 280 average because of how bad he struggled. But if he can hit 250, as like a end of the year type of average and maybe get up to 20 home runs this year, and just get on base consistently for the big guys, I think he'll be okay.
No, and I agree. And I think, we look at a lot with Lindor. And Lindor, like I said, he's had a past history of struggling April, May. I think the big concern was that the last half of 2019, he kind of struggled. In 2020, he struggled. And then he pretty much said, oh, I wasn't trying, da-da-da-da-da. And then it was kind of came to the point is, do you trust him? Do you think he'll transition? It's a new city, new press. No pun intended. It's a whole different ballgame. It's a big city. New York is so much more different than Cleveland, Ohio. Much more press. It's just much more intense. You have a bigger, better fan base. No offense to the fans. But yeah, it's definitely going to be something that, I mean, this team simply is going to have to just go through with Lindor. I think Lindor, is he, simply, a type of franchise player? I don't know, but I think time will come and Lindor will definitely show himself out. Like everyone's saying in the comments right here, we got, Lindor. Everyone likes Lindor, of course. There's no complaints.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be Jason Bay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know. I've been calling him that, but it's definitely one of those things. Man. I know what you were saying. But yeah, we had a great stream though. Everyone, we're probably gonna call it from here. Got a couple of stuff to do. Hour and 24 minutes. I appreciate everyone that came in. We had a great stream. I think we had a tops of 18 people. So I just want to appreciate Talkin' Mets with Rob for joining this stream. Please, everyone, check out his channel. Did we get 30 likes? We have 29. I don't know if we did get 30. Let's see, Sergio.
All right.
We did get 30. Yay, congratulations.
Yeah. Great, guys. Great job, guys.
So I appreciate everyone that tuned in. We'll see how many people we got. We got a fair amount of people. I appreciate everyone that's tuning in. But yeah, Talkin' Mets with Rob. Check him out. Great Mets YouTuber. You said you were approaching 1,000. So definitely.
I'm about 80 away. Yep.
So everyone, if you're not subscribed to him, subscribe to him. Like his videos, comment, do all that good stuff, positivity, help him out. That'll be great. I want to appreciate you coming in, man. And I'll see you next time, all right?
All right, man. Have a good day, everybody. Let's go, Mets.
Absolutely. So everyone, Talkin' Mets with Rob. Please feel free to check him out. If you want to stay in the waiting room, we can talk a little bit after if you want. Just do my quick little outro spiel. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Cool spin, yeah, absolutely. Congratulations on the bobblehead. Oh, come on. Oh, what's going on, man? So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I definitely want to start doing these streams more. I want to start collaborating with more people, even if you're not a YouTuber. I know a couple people in the comment section, want to join. People have messaged me on Twitter saying, can I join your stream? I know some people want to do that, and I'm down to that. I have no problem having people join my stream and stuff. We talk baseball, talk Mets. I have one of my friends who's a Yankees fan. His name is Ron. He wants to join the stream. I said, sure. But yeah, I'd definitely be down to that, no doubt. I have no problem with that. So yeah, otherwise, I appreciate everyone that came into this stream. Great stream today. Talking Mets with Rob. Check him out. But otherwise, we went over the Mets Arizona Diamondbacks series summary, the Mets San Diego Padres series preview. We went over, talking Mets with Rob about the Mets. We took some questions, Q&A stuff. So I do want to apologize about last night. We did some connection issues, some other stuff going on that will be not named now. But yeah, otherwise, I appreciate everyone that tuned in. And yeah, I want to call it a stream. Let's get this W with San Diego. My prediction is 2 out of 4. Split the series. I'll take it as long as we're still in first place. Till next time, baseball fans. See ya.